Well, hello Facebook world. It's Sunday, the 7th of October 2018. As you can see, I'm holding this book, which I am going to give you my honest opinion on in a few moments' time. It's currently 2:20 p.m. United Kingdom Greenwich Mean Time here in England. And as I say, very shortly, just giving time for people to be alerted to this, I am going to give you my honest thoughts on this book that I finished reading last night, because as you know, I've started to video review books when I finished reading them. Sometimes those will be magic books, sometimes they'll be mentalism books. In this case, it's a hypnotherapy book, but one that's got there's some techniques in there that would be relevant to street hypnotists and stage hypnotists as well. Now, the observant ones will already have seen that it's called Hypnotherapy, Methods, Techniques and Philosophies of Freddy Jacquin. And my magical and mentalism friends will be acutely aware that Freddy is the father of Anthony Jacquin, the author of Reality is Plastic, and who produced DVDs such as The Manchurian Approach through Alakazam Magic. My magic and mentalism friends especially, and some of my hypnotherapy and stage hypnosis friends, will be acutely aware that myself and Freddy's son, Anthony, have not spoken for fast approaching 10 years. So I want to make it very clear before I do this book review, so it's totally in context and clear that there is no clouding of issues, that I have never ever had any personal gripe towards or against Anthony Jacquin in any manner whatsoever. And indeed, with the vast majority of his associates and students, the same applies. I have nothing personal against anybody whatsoever. So let's make that clear before I jump into the book review, that in relation to Freddy's son, Anthony, who those people who know me know I haven't spoken to in the best part of fast approaching 10 years, which is a great shame, because when we did speak, we had some amazing conversations at Blackpool Magic Convention when we first met. And yeah, look, the point is this: I'm about to tell you what I think of this book, honestly. You're going to be very surprised at what I think, and that's why I want to make it clear up front that this is a review that is done with no relevance whatsoever to the fact of the rumours, the backstabbing by third parties. I don't mean by Anthony, I mean by associates or former associates of his posting defamatory comments on the internet. That has not affected what's going to be my totally honest review of this book. Now, those people who are really nosy, you've already looked at the information I put above this video, will have kind of guessed I've already put a link there. Where if you visit that link, there's more information about two things. Number one, there's the place where you can buy the book from, because ultimately I'm going to tell you it's worth buying, but I want you to know why I'm saying that. It's not as simple as just buy the book. But yes, I am ultimately, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you the book is worth buying. Okay, also at that link that's above, and if it allows me to post it below, I will do. I'll try. I'll just see if it lets me as well. It might be too long to go below. But if it's allowed me, it might do, because it's me doing the Facebook Live. It might have done. If it has, then the links will be below as well. Just in case it hasn't allowed me to, I'll just take the link to my blog page, where what I've done is I have put screenshots and evidence of things that are relevant regarding myself and the totally unnecessary situation that led to rumours and defamatory comments from third parties. Not from, I'm making it quite clear, it generally wasn't from Anthony himself, it was from associates who felt aggrieved for their leader, as it were, when I pointed out that street hypnosis in England is indeed illegal without obtaining the licence from the local authority, and that said licence cannot be obtained without the correct public liability insurance and professional indemnity and cover, and that if you are an insured hypnotist, if you do street hypnosis without said licence in place, with very few exceptions, that will mean that you have invalidated your insurance cover, And also, if you're not operating as per the laws that are there, it means that you're not just breaking the law, but you are potentially putting members of the general public at great risk. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. Everything's explained at the links above or below this video, with evidence and screenshots that show originally, even before myself and Anthony ever met, he used to get advice from me on my Hypnotorious news group, as he did on other forums, as he was developing in his craft. And indeed, I submitted a couple of things that went into his Proper Mental Volume 3 supplement to Reality is Plastic, and ultimately led to my name being on the credits of the Manchurian Approach DVDs released by Alakazam, certainly the first set released. I don't know if it got altered afterwards, after all the unnecessary hoo-ha, but certainly one of my hypnotic coin bending ideas, an element was used, and my name was on the credits of that. So, you know, at one time we got on really well, and it's sad that because a number of people wanted to ignore the fact that street hypnosis is illegal. That wasn't my laws, that's the laws as it is, and the evidence is at the link above or below this video, together with proof from the local councils and a whole bunch of other stuff that shows that I've never had anything personal against Anthony Jacquin. And I most certainly, anything I've ever posted is backed up by cast iron evidence, facts, and numerous witnesses, as illustrated at the link above or below this video. So the end of that, let's get to the important part. This is this book. I want you to realise that just because Freddy is Anthony's dad, and for some reason Anthony has fallen out with me, well, I know why. It's explained at the links above or below. It's because of the whole street hypnosis debacle. The simple fact is I just want the industry to be safe, and that is all. Well, it's fully explained there. I'm not saying any more on that. Let's get down to why this video. Well, I ordered this book. I saw it advertised, and I'll be honest, I was intrigued to get it, and I was in two minds about whether I was going to continue doing my video reviews with this book, because I do it with other books that I've read, whether they're magic, mentalism or hypnosis, but I was a little bit concerned that people might think if I said bad things about the book, that it was some sort of vindictive, twisted revenge relating to the stuff that's mentioned at the link. And nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, there are three, hang on, I've got some notes here, okay. There are three teeny weeny criticisms of the book, but there are far more positive things. So let's get the negativity out of the way first, because they're teeny weeny minor things. One of them is that you can be reading something and it suddenly says continued ... and then it's as though it's supposed to be at the end of the page, but in actual fact it carries on that page. Clearly, when proofreading was done, this was copied and pasted, I'm guessing, from some other document, or it was missed that it was going to end up in this format, being on the same page. So that doesn't affect the content of what's in here. It's just a niggly editing thing. So really, you can discard that. There's other places where it mentions, it might say, as explained above, and in actual fact, it's on the previous page, or several pages back where it's explained. Again, that's just being pedantic and picky and is no relevance to the contents of what's in the book. The only one that is relevant to the content of the book is that this is probably more relevant for people who already have a reasonable degree of hypnotherapy or related mind therapy training behind them or study. The reason I say that is that although the vast majority of what's in this book is written in a wonderfully easy to read, very entertaining. Yes, I really genuinely enjoyed reading this, especially the stories that Freddy shares of case studies with clients. Not only are they entertaining, but also arguably they're more educational than other parts of the book. And that's not slagging off other parts of the book. It's just saying by giving examples of things being used in context, that not only does it make it more entertaining and therefore more likely to be retained by the reader, but it also, it spells it out. And it actually, how can I put it? It paints a picture in your mind that means you actually learn more than you do just from a bullet point description of the technique to use. That'll make more sense to you when you actually read the book, as I'm guessing it's becoming clear that I'm recommending that you do. So yeah, the only other negative thing was that there is, and that's why I say it's probably best for people who've had some prior training or at the very least studied what ab reactions are. More depth on ab reactions would have been the one thing I would have added in here. Yes, they don't happen that often, but when they do, if you treat enough people, they will, then knowing exactly how to deal with them so that you don't shit yourself, excuse the word, but first time you encounter them, if you've not been pre-warned, and even when you have been pre-warned and told how to deal with them, can sometimes be very, very scary. But other than that, this book is 195 pages of quite clearly Freddy's real world experience with real clients, getting real results. I particularly enjoyed, and the other thing, and this is praise, this is not a criticism. So when I say there's nothing new under the sun and you're going to get rehashed stuff in here, I don't mean that in a negative sense. What you're going to get is Freddy's take on techniques that have been around for decades and decades. But I totally respect that, because Freddy has actually admitted that and said there's nothing new under the sun. It niggles me when authors make out everything's entirely new. I have total respect for people who go, look, this is my take on it, as Freddy has. This is the way I blended together stuff that's been out there for years, and this is how it works for me. And that's what you're getting in this book. And that's one of the reasons I would thoroughly recommend you taking a read. Now, I know there's going to be people watching this thinking, good God, what's happened to Royle? Has he lost the plot? Why hasn't he taken the opportunity to go, don't buy this book, don't buy this book, buy my books instead? Well, you know why? Because I genuinely believe that this book is worth reading if you are a student of hypnosis, especially if you work in the arenas of hypnotherapy. And that's why. So the fact that you can get both of my books, Hypnotherapy Made Easy and Stage Hypnosis Made Easy, both of them delivered to you off Amazon for less than 20 quid, not 20 quid each, 20 quid from both, and that this book will actually cost you more like £24 something, nearly 25 quid off Amazon UK, is completely irrelevant, because I would say buy them all. Yes, don't get mine instead. No, I know I've said that on some other video reviews, but with this stands alone, with that one exception of I wish it'd have had some element in about more depth on ab reactions and the potential dangers of things like false memories, manipulating people's emotions, how it can trigger off other things that they didn't even come for treatment for. And because there are real dangers of hypnotherapy and meddling with people's brains. But for the majority of readers who are going to get this who've already got experience, then it stands alone. It does what it says on the tin. It's 195 pages of packed, and it is packed. Obviously, I don't want to show you too many pages because that would be a copyright issue, and also, well, it'd be a spoiler. But if I can just show you only the index, okay, I'm just going to show you the index, get it as close as I can. It'll give you an idea of how many different subjects are covered and how many different techniques are covered inside. Oops, let me try and get that. I'm trying to, oh, there we go. I'll move back down again. Oh, and if you're wondering what that Potin Charu, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Freddie, because I know you're watching, is all about. Clearly, it appeared to me to be course notes for something that Freddie will have run in the past regarding using hypnotic and NLP techniques to help parents help their kids. And there you go. You can see there's a lot of different subject matters covered, a lot of different techniques, and I particularly enjoyed the smoking cessation protocol explained in there, which, as Freddie explains, is just as relevant for one-to-one therapy clients as it is for doing with groups of 50, 100, 200 or more people in an auditorium for doing profitable group sessions. That alone is worth the price of the book, the smoking cessation protocol. Yes, Freddie does touch on what is getting known for, the arrow technique in there for pain control. Personally, I have my own techniques that I use for pain control. Well, They're not actually my own techniques because they were in books decades and decades ago. But what I mean is I've got an approach that I use, which, as you've probably heard on the grapevine, is subconscious therapeutic elimination of pain, signals and symptoms, STEPS for short. As I came up with that name, but the actual technique is being developed by Martin Rothery of Future Health Therapy Centre in Chesterfield, and I gave him the name to use with the technique that he's developed, which is quite a bit different than what Freddy teaches. I do like Freddy's technique, and at some point in the future I may try it out, but obviously every therapist picks one. It's like a fruit bowl. That's what this is, and I mean that in a good way. It's not rotten fruit. This is fresh, direct from the tree fruit, the tree of knowledge, experience and the university of life. And each line, each technique is a different. I'm trying to get that in line with the, so I can just hold it enough for you to see the different names. Each one of them is a different technique, approach, if you like, in this metaphor, a different fruit. And it's up to you what you take from that fruit bowl and what you then integrate into your hypnotherapy work. So yeah, in a nutshell, well worth buying. Go to the link that's above or below this video and you'll get the link there to be able to go to Amazon and buy the book. And for those who are interested, you'll also be able to find the truth with evidence and screenshots of the whole ridiculous street hypnosis fiasco that's gone on over the past 10 years, where at the end of the day, in a nutshell, I'll say it one final time, I have never posted any personal attack on Anthony Jacquin, and neither would I, because I have nothing against him personally, and I have nothing against the vast majority of his associates or students either, except the odd one who's posted defamatory and vindictive attacking materials about myself in the past. All my intention ever was and ever has remained with that whole debacle of stuff is to make sure that the hypnosis industry is safe, legal, lawful, licensed where relevant, fully insured, and above all else, safe for the therapy clients and safe for the street hypnosis volunteers or stage hypnosis volunteers. So don't let any of that cloud this video review, because whatever you may think, although there is evidence in the links above or below, the simple fact is I still say, well worth getting. Excellent book. Thank you, Freddy. I enjoyed it. For the record, I bought this. I wasn't sent it. And also for the record, on the occasions I have been sent books free of charge for review, yes, I do then review them. But as some past authors have noted, if I don't like what I'm reading, I will be brutally honest in my usual no bullshit, direct to the point, she can't stand the truth or the heat, get out of the kitchen manner. And well, there's no reason to do that with this, because it's actually, I'd give it 4.75, no, 4.8 out of 5. And the reason, only little reason for that, little tiny bit, and it not being a full 5 out of 5, is because of the subjective reactions and other potential dangers, which I also concede will be largely irrelevant to the majority of readers who will have already taken training and know about those things. But you just don't know. If down the line it ends up in a second-hand shop and somebody just picks this up out of interest rather than with an already knowledge base and experience in hypnosis, then I know it's a tiny little chance, but then that's when I think actually having covered those things would have been a good idea. So thank you very much indeed, everyone, for watching. Do myself a favour, if you would, so that people get more used to the idea that I will be doing quite frequent video reviews of books and stuff. I will be sharing this on YouTube later when I've downloaded it as well. So I'll post a link later. When I do, if you can share the YouTube video on YouTube, if you can share this video when the video replay is there to, well, in one regard, hopefully it'll help Freddy sell more books because it's worth reading. And in another regard, it'll alert people to the fact that I'm going to start doing these video reviews on a, if not every week, every couple of weeks basis. It depends how many books I'm reading, to be honest. and how soon I finish them. So have a great weekend. Take care. If you've joined this partway through, please do start from the beginning. Then it will make total sense. And yeah, also check out the link above or below this video for more information. Bye for now.